UFC Fight Night 161 Tampa. Michelle Waterson versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk takes place next weekend. We're getting ready right now. Okay, we're going to go through the entire card, starting at the early prelims, ending with the main event. And when I tell you which fight is opening this card, you'll really understand how fucking stacked this is. Okay? Marlon Chito Vera versus Andre Ewell is opening up this fucking card. I think Marlon Vera's going to win. I think he's younger. I've seen Andre Ewell have problems. Nathaniel Wood shut him down in the grappling. I feel like Marlon Vera can go to that if he wants. Andre Ewell 31, Marlon Vera 26, much younger. Had a bit better of a recent record as well. I think he's 4 straight wins in a row. Marlon Vera is no slouch. I'm going to go with Marlon Vera here in the first fight. That just shows you how stacked this shit is. JJ Aldridge versus Lauren Muller. JJ Aldridge gets the win. I feel like she's going to TKO this one and actually finish it. JJ Aldridge for the win. Marvin Vettori, the Italian Dream versus Andrew Sanchez. I'm going with Vettori. I picked him last fight where he's supposed to fight. I believe it was in UFC Vancouver. They were supposed to fight each other. It got postponed till now because Sanchez got sick or an illness or something. I feel like the fact that Vettori first took the fight on short notice, this is actually a blessing in disguise for him because he's now got a much longer camp when in reality he was just going to be taking it on a couple weeks notice. I like this for Vettori. I think he's going to get the knockout this time. I really do. I like Andrew Sanchez. I just feel like Vettori's split decision loss to Israel Adesanya, although it should have gone to Adesanya, that's a good loss to have on your record. That's the first time a loss has looked like a good thing for a young fighter. Marvin Vettori gets the win by TKO. Miguel Baeza versus Hector Aldana. I'm going with Miguel Baeza. Coming from the Contender Series. He's taller. He's rangier. He's undefeated. Hector Aldana is 4-2. 4-2-0. Should not be in the UFC. If you have a record of 4-2, I don't care who you are. You don't belong here, okay? You can say hello to Bellator. Miguel Baeza is going to get the job done, undefeated. Max Griffin versus Alex Morono. Max Griffin. I like Max Griffin. I feel like he is a little bit chinny, okay? And I notice, listen, I can smell a glass chin when I see one, okay? You know me, boys. I've been calling out incel chins. Jeff Neal is another guy I can see getting knocked out. Max Griffin, he does get rocked and wobbled, and I do worry for him because Alex Morono does swing like a retard, and it could clip him. I feel like I'm going to go with Max Griffin here. But this might be a good underdog for picking Alex Morono, honestly. I'm going with Max Griffin, though. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Tim Elliott. This guy's a flyweight, top 5, 16-1. He's on the prelims. Not a lot of people paying attention to him. He puts on sick fights. I'm going with Deiveson Figueiredo. I like his stand-up. I like his takedown defense. I feel like he got showed somewhat of the ropes against Formiga, but his takedown defense was okay there, but he just kind of got a little bit out-grappled. I feel like Tim Elliott's maybe on his way out of the sport at flyweight. I'm going to go for Deiveson Figueiredo. Slug him out, 3-rounder, gets a dominant victory and drops Tim Elliott multiple times. Ryan Spann versus Devin Clark is the co-headliner of the prelims. I'm going with Devin Clark here. I like Ryan Spann. He's got KO power. I think he's going to be the favourite here as well. He's got the power. I don't rate a win over Big Nog anymore. Okay? I feel like that guy is kind of a gimme fight with his chin. He used to be a legend. Like I've mentioned this before. I just mentioned it about GSP. A win over Big Nog is nowhere near as... Or Little Nog is nowhere near as... I meant Little Nog is light heavyweight. Is nowhere near as impressive as it was 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Spann KO and Little Nog is just like, oh, well, 5 years too late. You know? Doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm going to go with Devin Clark here. I like his wins. He recently beat Darko Stojic quite convincingly as well. I'm going with Devin Clark. Nico Price versus James Vick. I'm going with James Vick. I feel like welterweight's going to be his spot. I feel like a lot of people hate on James Vick and they're picking against him for that reason. Because they hate him. I'm going with James Vick. I feel like he's going to be good at welterweight. I feel like he was doing real good against Gaethje before he got caught. I feel like he can beat Nico Price. Both guys recently coming off TKO or KO finishes in James Vick's case. I like welterweight. Okay? And I feel like Nico Price had real trouble with the range against Tim Means. I feel like James Vick's going to give him that same issue. I like James Vick here as an underdog, I'm sure. But I'm going to go with James Vick. Main card. Eric Anders versus Gerald Meerschaert has made its way onto the main card. I'm going to go with Gerald Meerschaert getting the takedown and the submission. Yeah. I like Eric Anders. There's holes there, okay? I mean, I don't mean to be Kevin Lee over here, but there are holes. He can be beaten. We saw what Roundtree did to him, and we saw what just happened to Roundtree. There's levels to this division, okay? And I feel like Gerald Meerschaert's going to be smart enough and competent enough to avoid the early flurry and maybe shoot for a takedown on an over-aggressive Eric Anders, find himself on the ground with him, and then I feel like the submission will almost be automatic. Gerald Meerschaert's getting the win. Matt Frevola versus Luis Pena. I'm going to go with Luis Pena. Okay? He's a big guy for the division. And I feel like he's only getting better when he's younger. Matt Frevola's 29, coming into his prime. He's a good fighter, man. This is a tough one as well, but I'm going to go with Luis Pena here. I feel like he's going to drown out Matt Frevola and do well against the takedowns. He trains at AKA. They got a lot of wrestlers. A lot of good wrestlers. I'm going with Luis Pena here. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. I don't care, but just lots of north and south position, please, MMA gods. Just make sure you get the right camera angles for this one. Like, we need to enjoy ourselves. Either way, I do think that Mackenzie Dern's going to come back and get a submission. People just see her as what she looks like. She's genuinely a good jiu-jitsu grappler. Genuinely good. I feel like she's going to get this one done by submission. Amanda Ribas is good, but I feel like Mackenzie Dern, especially at strawweight, I mean, I don't know how the fuck she makes that weight class. I tell you what's going to happen. Mackenzie Dern's going to miss weight by 5 pounds. The UFC is going to be fine with it because of her ass. And Amanda Ribas is going to get fucked over and dominated on the ground. That's exactly what's going to happen. Brock Weaver versus Thomas Gifford. I don't know why this is on the main event, the main card. I have no idea who these two guys are. Thomas Gifford is a guy who took a fight on short notice and lost, I believe. And Brock Weaver is just coming off the Contender Series, right? So, why are they on the main card? I guess Dana's really trying to push his Contender Series guys. But you've got Davison Figueiredo, Tim Elliott on the prelims. Marvin Vettori on the prelims. Marlon Vera versus Andre Ewell on the prelims. Ryan Spann, Devin Clark. Nico Price, James Vick. And you're going to put Brock Weaver on the main card. He better be worth it. I'm picking him because I think he's going to win. I think he's a very good fighter. But yeah, I don't know why he's there. But I hopefully I'm impressed by him because that will save my feelings. Okay? I'm going to go with Brock Weaver here. I think he's going to get the job done. Cub Swanson versus Kron Gracie. I'm going with Cub Swanson. Big old Swanee. I feel like he's going to do fine. I feel like a win over Bruce Leroy isn't too impressive. I feel like Kron Gracie's a guy who's won his UFC debut. He's not like a young guy who's going to pick up things real quickly. He's 31 years old. I'm going to go with Cub Swanson. I think he's going to get this one. I really do. I feel like he's going to try and catch Kron Gracie closing the gap. And I think he's going to be successful. I'm going with Killer Cub by KO. That's a risky one. But I'm going for it. Killer Cub Swanson by KO. Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Michelle Waterson. I'm going with Joanna. I have to. Michelle Waterson's good. I feel like she's kind of just beat. There's levels to the division of women's strawweight. Although Joanna Jedrzejczyk has been looking kind of iffy and kind of rusty recently, there are some levels to women's strawweight, okay? There's like brackets. There's the champ, then there's the top 3, then there's the 4 and 5 that are kind of in their own little tier, and then there's 5 downwards. And I feel like Michelle Waterson's kind of one of those people, and she's older here. She's not the younger one. A lot of people look at her and they think, oh, she's definitely younger than Joanna Jedrzejczyk. But 1.2 million Instagram followers. I hope she wins. I feel like it would be better for the UFC if she wins, because she's more marketable than Joanna. I feel like Joanna's kind of lost a bit of hype recently. She was only really big in the spotlight when she was dominating girls, but she's taken this fight. I just don't rate Michelle Waterson's wins that much. A decision over Karolina Kowalkiewicz. A decision over Felice Herrig that could have gone either way. A split decision over Courtney Casey. A loss to Tisha Torres and Nami Yunus before that as well. I feel like Joanna Jedrzejczyk's going to get this one done. By decision. maybe a late finish, but I don't see this one being ridiculously interesting. I'll be honest with you guys. It's a good card though. Stacked card. If you don't like this card, like, you're not paying attention to the sport, because these are the up and comers. This card is... Let me just do a quick fucking... I'm so fucking hyped for UFC right now. Listen to this. If Marlon Vera, Andre Ewell win, that's another streaking contender at bantamweight. Established. Who's the next guy to get a ranked opponent? JJ Aldridge versus Laura Muller. JJ Aldridge is on a bit of a streak right now, I believe. She's going to be doing good. Laura Muller put together a win last fight. We'll see what happens there. Marvin Vettori. If he wins this, he'll be back on the streak. And he can maybe get a guy in the top 15. Maybe a Marvin Vettori, Ian Heinisch matchup. Because Ian Heinisch just lost his opponent in Brad Tavares, who recently signed to fight Edmund Shabazian for his new opponent. Maybe that's what happens. Miguel Baeza, new guy, 6-0, undefeated welterweight, on the scene if he wins. Max Griffin, going to be on a streak of his own. Figueiredo, one of the most exciting flyweights in the world, and that's a fact. Ryan Spann, Devin Clark would be on streaks. This is big. Price, Vick. Holy shit. Holy shit. I actually care more about the prelims than the main card. That's weird. I've never really thought that before. But the prelims to me are a little bit more interesting. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. If you do a time stamp thing for when I actually say the people's names, I'll pin your comment or something. Because I look at it and it's just such a fucking annoying job to do. And I'm never doing it. So, someone do that and I'll pin your comment and you'll get likes, I guess.